Good morning, students. Today we will continue our lesson number 4, sorting materials in the group. Okay, in that we are discussing about the properties of materials. So in that properties we have already discussed 3 properties. First one is appearance, second one is hardness, and third one is soluble and insoluble materials. Okay, appliances we discuss about the materials that are shining and that are not shining. Okay, in the hardness we have discussed about the materials that are soft or that are hard. Okay, we have discussed that some materials are hard and some materials are soft, and we have to compare in two materials, then we can find out which one is hard and which one is soft. Like that in appearance we have discussed that different type of materials have signs, different type of materials have sign in them that is called luster. Lustrous materials are there. So many lustrous materials are there, and some also many materials are there that have no shine in them. And third one that we have discussed is soluble and insoluble materials. Okay, some of the materials soluble in the water, or some of the materials are not soluble in the water. So according to that, we can make the group. Like that we have discussed in 3 parts: in the solid, liquid, as well as in gas. Okay, some solids are soluble in the water and some solids are not soluble in the water. That we have discussed in our last session. And as well as some liquids are soluble in the water and some liquids are not soluble in the water, like lemon water and other things are soluble, but oil is not soluble in the water. Like that gas also we have discussed that oxygen is soluble in the water, and some concepts carbon dioxide also soluble in water, but other gases are not soluble in water. So now our fourth property of the materials is float and sink. In water. Okay. Sink materials that float in water and materials that sink in water. According to that also we can make the group. Okay. See, I am taking some materials. Okay. See, there is a glass of water in my hand. There is a glass of water in my hand. I will put some materials that are in the water. So some of them will float and some of them will sink. Okay. Some of them we have already discussed in the last session, that we have put sand in that water, that also not float, come into the bottom of the water. Like that we have discussed. I have shown you oil. Oil is floating in the water upside on the. Okay, so soil is floating on the water, and sand or chalk powder is not floating in the water. They are sinking in the water. Like that, they could see. I am taking one chalk. Okay, now I am putting it in this water. See what happened. Okay, see, chalk is sinking in the water. Are you seeing? It is sinking in the water. Now I am taking one screw also. See here, it is the screw in my hand. Okay. Now I am putting that screw in the water. See, it is also sinking in the water. Okay. Now I am taking one more thing. See. I am taking this stapler. Sorry, I am putting this mic on 1 minute. Okay. Now say, I have already put that chalk and a screw. Now I am putting that stapler in the water. Okay, it is also sinking in the water. So what we have seen, some of the materials like chalk, that chalk is there, it is sinking in the water. Like that screw is also sinking in the water. Okay, so some of the materials are there that are sinking in the water. Give some more example of that of material that are sinking in the water. Write in your comment box. That screw is sinking in the water. Stapler, we have seen that sinking in water. Chalk is sinking in the water. So like that, write some more. Coin, very good. Bhanu Prabha is writing coin is sinking in the water. The coin also sink in the water. Stone, all the stones sink in the water. Very good. Anushka. That Rishika Misra is writing so many things like oil is floating in the water. Very good. We are talking about the floating things of next metals. All the metals, iron, all these things sink in the water. Next is very good. Screw, stone, key. Very good. Okay. Eraser. So many things, pebbles, metals, all these things sink in the water. Like that, some things are float in the water. Okay. Now you write in the comment box also what are the things that float in the water. Okay. One or two things I am writing here, showing you that are floating in the water. Say, I am taking that leaf. Leaf is in my hand. See, it is the leaf in my hand. I am putting in the water. Now it is, say, it is not going in the bottom. So it is floating in the water. Now I have one paper piece is there. It is also I am putting in that water. See, it is also floating in the water. It is not going in the bottom in the water. Okay, bottom in the glass. Okay, so leaf will float, paper pieces will float. Okay, as well as so many things are there. Write in your comment box what are the things that will float. Okay, plastic things, plastic ball will float. Wood will float. Make different type items of wood that will also float. Okay, empty bottle will float, but filled bottle will not float. Very good, Pankaj Tripathi. Okay, wood will float, cotton will float. Okay, oil in the if we talk about the liquid things, oil, kerosene, coconut oil, mustard oil, all these things will also float in the water. But okay, so we can say some things are float in the water, some things will sink in the water. What are the reason of different things that are sinking in the water and floating in the water? So what we can say, substance that are heavier than water. Okay, substance heavier than water sink in it. Okay, substance that are heavier than water will sink in water. Okay, all the substance that are heavier than water. Okay, that all that substance will sink in the water, or just opposite of that, substance that are lighter than water will float in the water. Okay, substance that are lighter than, like that, all these substance like nail, what we have discussed, nail, all these are metals. Okay, chalk, sand, chalk powder, key, stone, pebbles, screw, all these things are heavier than water. That's why they sink in the water. Now we are talking about the things that are floating in the water. So all these things are, what is the just opposite of that, substances that are lighter than water will float in the water. Okay. Okay. So that will float in the water because they are lighter than the water. Okay. So lighter than the water are leaf. Okay. Leaf is there, wood is there. Okay. Plastic ball is there, and then empty water bottle or empty boxes are there of plastic. Ice is there, oil, coconut oil, petrol, all these are lighter than the water. They that's why they float in the water. Okay, Rishika Mishra is saying, okay, one thing is that interesting that paper is floating in the water, but after some time when the paper become wet, okay, so it will be sink in the water because it gain its weight by soaking the water. Okay, so that's why then it will sink in the water. Otherwise, it will be float in the water like that. Cloth also, in the cases of cloth also, clothes float in the water, cotton float in the water, but when they soak the water, their weight will be more than the water. That's why they sink after some time. Okay, so this is the by this way, this is the way by that we can make two groups of the materials that are float in the water, materials that are sink in the water. Okay, so many answers are coming. Okay, so because of that, only the one thing is there, that cotton or all these things that float in the water, but after soaking the water, they become weight. Their weight become more than the water. That's why they sink in it. Okay, so now next property of the water is property of the material is transparency. Transparency. Now, some materials are there that next property is transparency. What is the meaning of transparency? Some materials are there from which we can see in the other side of the material. Okay. Okay, so some materials are there from which we can see clearly to the other side of the material. See, first and foremost example is which what will be the example? Say, this is the glass. Okay, it is the glass. So from glass, I can see other side of that glass also clearly. Okay, so glass is a transparent material. Okay, glass is a transparent material. Like that, some other examples are there. Plastic bottle. Through the plastic bottle also we can see other side of the material. What are the other things? Plastic, that by that used in the packing also, that is through that plastic also we can see other side of that plastic. Okay, so what we can say, materials through which we can say clearly are called transparent. All those materials from those which we can see clearly are called transparent. Material through okay, see, materials through which you can see clearly all are called transparent. Okay, see, in that we have seen the example glass, normal glass that you can see in the window also. Window also there are there is glasses, through that windows, glass window, we can see other side of the that glass, like that that I have shown you, that glass and plastic, plastic bottles, plastic jars. By through all this, through we can see clearly on the side of the thing. So all these are transparent thing. Now one word is also there. It is a transparent. What are the transparent things? Materials through which you can see clearly, that are called transparent. And second word is there, transparency. Transparency. Okay. The property. What is the quality of the material? Okay. What is the meaning of the property of a material through which you can see clearly? Property of a material through which you can see clearly is called transparency. Transparency. Okay. Okay. Transparent is the thing, material that is from which you can see clearly, and that quality, the quality of material or property of material, speciality of that material that we can see clearly from that is called transparency. There is difference in both the word transparent and transparency. Okay, transparency is the quality or property of that material, and transparent is that material. Transparent is the material. What are the transparent things? So we can see, we can take the name of all these examples. What are the transparent materials? So we can take the example of all these materials. But when we talk about the transparency, so transparency is the property of a material from which we can see clearly. So there is a difference in the both the words. Okay. Now it is a different examples of solid that are transparent. Write in your comment box also. We are dividing in three solid, liquid and gas. So write the example in your comment box also that are transparent. Okay. Okay. Solid, glass we have already discussed, plastic bottle we have already discussed, plastic we have already discussed. Except these, one thing that we have discussed in the hardness and softness, diamond. Okay, diamonds and gems, different type of gems also transparent. Okay, if you see diamond is also transparent, gems are transparent. Okay, glass, plastic, all these things are transparent things. Okay, now when we talk about the liquid things, okay, what are the liquid things that are transparent? Write in your examples. We have just finished that solid, about the solid things. Solid things we have discussed: diamond, glass, gems. Okay, all these things, plastic. Now liquid things. What are the liquid things that are transparent? Write in your comment box also. Water is the most important thing. It is transparent. Okay, that we have seen also. They will see that glass is transparent, and in the glass water is also there. Then also we can see clearly, it means water is transparent. All other things that are transparent except water. When we talk about the water, then normal water is also transparent. Sea water is also transparent. Sea water is very salty, but it is also transparent. Kerosene is also one thing that is transparent. Okay, so these are the things that are liquid things that are transparent. Now if we talk about the gases, what are the gases are transparent? So most of the gases are transparent. Otherwise we cannot see in our environment, because if you see in the environment, there are all the gases are there. If they are not transparent, then how can we see properly? Okay, so oxygen, nitrogen, hydrogen, all these gases are transparent. Okay, but not all the gases are transparent. Like chlorine is not transparent. Chlorine has a yellow color. So but most of the gases are transparent. Oxygen, nitrogen, carbon dioxide is the main examples are there. So there are we can divide transparent things in three parts: solid, liquid, and gases. And you have to know the answer of all these things. One of the answer is writing vinegar. Okay, white vinegar is transparent. There are different types of vinegars are there. So white vinegar is transparent. Sugar solution is one of the Pulkit Kumar is writing sugar solution, very good. Salty water is transparent. Sugar solution is also transparent. So many examples are coming of different things. Okay, main thing is there transparent things. What are the transparent things and what is transparency? Okay, and then example of different type of solid, liquid, and gas that are transparent. Okay, now second thing is that just opposite of that, materials through which you can see clearly are called transparent, and materials through which you cannot see is opaque. What is the word? Opaque. A material through which you cannot see is called opaque material. A material through which you cannot see, that is called opaque. Just opposite of transparent or transparency. Okay, transparent, just opposite of transparent, it is opaque. So material or things from which you cannot see, that is called opaque. Now see, this is the paper. Through that glass you can see my face also. But when I am putting that paper in just in front of my face, you cannot see my face. It means that paper is not transparent, it is opaque. Okay, that cardboard is there. Okay, you cannot see from that also, so it is also opaque material. So all the metals also, there are most of the metals are there that are opaque. Okay, wood, paper, stone, all these are all other things that are not transparent. Most of the things are opaque. Okay, and the property of material through which you cannot see is called opacity. One is the opaque. So all that material through which you cannot see are called opaque materials. Now one word is there, opacity. Okay, opacity. OPACITY. All these opacity. Okay, you can write from your book also all these things. But see, understand here, opacity. It is clear. Opacity is there. Opacity means quality or property of a material that from that you cannot see is called opacity. Okay, the property of material through which you cannot see is called opacity. Okay, I am rubbing it. One word is opaque. What is the definition of opaque? That all these definition you can see in your book also. So material through which you cannot see, just opposite of that, are called opaque materials. And now what is there? Opacity. Okay. So the property of material through which you cannot see is called opacity. So that is the quality of the material or property of the material from which you cannot see is called opacity. Examples are some of the examples I have given, some of the examples you will write. Okay, wood is the one example, paper I have shown you, cardboard I have shown you, stone I have shown you. Okay, mirror in the one of Anushka is asking कि mirror in our houses are in your window that are transparent, and other mirrors we will talk later. We will talk here because other mirror that from that we can see our faces that are not transparent because they have colored on the one side of that mirror. That's why they are not transparent. Okay. Wood, cardboard, metals, paper. Rajkumar Banwal is writing. One is asking Shiksha, sir, can crystal can also be transparent? Yes, some of the crystals are transparent if they do not have colors. Okay. So mirror is not transparent because mirror in our house is opaque because they have colored one side of that mirror. So that's why we cannot see through it. Okay, we can see our face, but we cannot see through it. But mirror in your windows that are transparent. Wall is okay. Wall is one or two are writing wall. The wall is made by the stone. So we have already discussed stone is opaque. So all other, so there are so many examples in our daily life that are opaque things. And now third one is there, translucent. What are the translucent? See, this is something new. We know the transparent things, we know the opaque things. Now third one is there, translucent things. Okay, a material through which you can see partially. Okay, some in partial way we can see through it. We cannot see clearly. It is just between both things. Okay, opaque or transparent. Transparent in between these two things. In the opaque things or in opacity, we cannot see anything through that material. In transparent things, we can see clearly through that material. Translucent is just in between these two things. Okay, that we can see from these materials partially. Okay, हिंदी में बोलेंगे तो थोड़ा हमको धुंधला धुंधला दिखेगा, hazy दिखेगा, but दिखेगा जरूर. Okay, so see, we can see partially in translucent thing. So one is that one example is there, that paper is there, that I have shown you, it is opaque. But if you do at your home also, put some oil in that paper, plain paper, put some oil on that paper, and then see, we can see that we can see from that paper, but not clearly. Something hazy is there, so partially we can see through that paper. So oiled paper is a translucent material. Okay, now give some more examples. Vishika Mishra is writing translucent, all those things which we can see but not clearly. Okay, partially or not clearly, we can see through it but not clearly. Partially we can see it, थोड़ा हमको धुंधला धुंधला दिखेगा, हल्का hazy दिखेगा, but we can see through that material. Okay, now one is there, one example is just I am showing you that glass I have shown you, that is transparent. Now one more glass is in my hand, see here. Okay, it is a colored glass. Okay, now see, from that also we can see, but partially I can see. Clearly I am not able to see from that glass, but partially I am seeing what is the other side of that glass. I can get the idea, but not clearly I am not seeing. Like that also you are seeing that sir is just behind the glass, but just image is coming, but not clearly. So this type of frosted glass or colored glass, from that frosted glass, it is the example of frosted glass also. See, some this type of glass, that is also frosted, example of frosted glass that we see normally in our windows also. Somewhere in the windows are there transparent glass are there, somewhere some people put frosted glass in their windows, so there they see partially out of the window but not clearly. Okay, and oil paper I have told you. Other things, sometimes you see in the rainy season also, when you see water is not clear, some sand is mixed in there, so that is like a muddy water. So muddy water also we can see through it but not clearly. One more thing, in the winters we see fog is there. If you see in the when so much winter is there, so in the air, in the atmosphere, there is fog is there.
So then also the fog also we can see 2, 3, 4 meters far things, but not very far things. So see, in the fog is also an example of translucent things. Okay, like that dust laden air, when very heavy wind is there, then dust will be in the air. So dust laden air also is an example of translucent things. Okay, and one more example is there, butter paper. Okay, that is used in to pack the food items. Okay, so butter paper is also an example, a example of translucent things. Tracing paper is all very good. So all these are translucent. The three things are there. Opaque, we cannot see through it. All these things. Transparent, we can see clearly through these materials. And translucent things are there where we can see partially from that things that are called translucent things. So all these three things examples you should learn, you should know. And what are the meaning of these three words? These are the new words: opaque, translucent, and transparency and transparent. Opaque for material, opacity, that quality or that property of material is called opacity. Like that, transparent for we use for material. This material is transparent, this material is, and what is the quality of that material? It is called transparency, and like that, translucent. Okay. So today we have discussed two things: float or sink, that property, as well as transparency, opaque or translucent. These are the properties that we have discussed about the material. Okay, so these are the some properties. We have discussed 5 or 6 properties. Now, how do we use these properties in our daily life? So one is Ajita Makkar is writing, sir, a very thin white cloth is also translucent. Yes, it is also translucent. Okay, so these are the different type of properties of the materials that we have discussed. Now, what are the use of these properties in our daily life? So by seeing that property, we can make the group of different things. Okay, by using this property, we can make a group of transparent things, make a group of opaque things, make a group of translucent things. Like that, before that, we can make a group of soluble things or insoluble things. We can make the group of hard things or soft things. We can group the make of things that will float in water, that will sink in water. So that are all these things used in our daily life. All these properties are used in our daily life for making the group, and according to that we use in our daily life of their properties. Okay, so in the next class we will discuss about the question and answer of these this lesson. Okay, bye students.